Dear students, today's class is totally a bigger, you may say, called as it's a bigger class. Bigger class means it contains of more number of topics. And today's topic for the block number 3 is the topic is World Trading System and Institution. And myself, similar line with Dr. Durga Madhav Mahapatra, lecturer in commerce, Hakirmon Autonomous College, Baleswar, as well as counselor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. I may present in front of you regarding the topic World Trading System and Institutions. This is related to IBO 1 Block 3. This is the separate book. You may refer in your hard copy also for your reference. But a large number of topics are there. But however, we may cut short with some of the relevant topics which are to be discussed on today's class. My dear students, in this block, the topics are 5 chapters are there. Unit 9, World Trade, and Unit 10, that is Multilateral Trading System. Unit 11, that is Regional Economic Groupings. And Unit 12, that is International Commodity Agreements. And Unit 13, that is International Financial Institutions. There are 5 topics. This is a bigger chapter of a total number of blocks, and that block 3 is a contents of 5 chapters related to world trade, to commodity agreement, to financial institution and regional groupings. But the first topic of this unit 9, that is called as a world trade. You see my slides. In a particular slide, the question is the trade. I am already focused on regarding the trade, that may be the internal trade and external trade. In previous classes, I have already discussed. But question is, what is global trade? It is also known as international trade, and it is also related to export and import of goods and services. Or it's maybe you may call it as a importing and exporting of transactions in different countries also, you may say. Or you may call it as that storm of imports, means it's a one type of sale, or it's an enter into a particular type of transaction through imports from the other countries, that is goods and services. And also exporting means you have to export goods and services to the other countries also, and that's the nature of sale is there. And in this connection, the total business is focus on of global trade, or you may call it as international trade. But the question in previous classes I have already discussed, there is the trade or the global trade is based on in different advantage, absolute advantage and competitive advantage. Or there is a 2 theories are there, classical theory and a neoclassical theory. In previous classes I have already discussed. That may be the comparative advantage, you may say David Ricardo. But in this connection, there is some of the cost, opportunity cost of the benefit which is related to the particular international business operation. But the question here, the question is, in a technical term, if the country is able to produce specific goods and services at a lower opportunity cost than others, that particular countries, I am already stated, developed, developing, or underdeveloped. There is a similar line of countries' position, economic or financial, regarding the financial position, the countries can be divided. But the opportunity cost is created where the more goods and services are to be produced more. Because if onion is more produced in India, there is a sum of positive points as regards to the opportunity cost of lower than the other countries. But question is, in the 1950s and 1960s, there is a huge shortage of foods at the time of or food grains or machinery or capital equipments. There is a different shortages are to be faced in this period. But so in such a scenario, the balance of payment is also adverse impact upon the particular position of a country. Already I have discussed regarding the balance of payment of a balance of payment is it is a balance sheet of a particular country. But in such scenario, 1950s, 60s, and 70s, some of the initiative by the government of India, that is Green Revolution, and at the time 1970 energy crisis is arises, means the prices of petroleum, and there is some shortage of budgets. In such situations, some of the important incidents are to be undertaken in these periods 60s, 50s to and 70s. But the question is here, as we are a developing country, India as a developing country, certain problems we are facing. I have already stated in 1950s to 1960 and 70 and 73, there are certain type of food grains facility and plant and machinery and equipment problems are there. And like as we are very much anxious about the or anxiety regarding the to establish our industrialization process. But after 1991 onwards, there is a economic liberalization is arises, liberalization, privatization, globalization, and in this connection, a certain economic reforms are to be focused on. But the question is, as India as a developing country, what type of problems are in a developing countries? What type of problems we are facing? Certainly, demand electricity and competition from substitutes of goods, technological and developments is or technological lower list of technology or growth of service sector, a price fluctuation is always made or protectionism. Why this arises protectionism? After World War II, 1945 onwards, there is a huge protectionism among the countries is arises. For this in this regards, the GATT is formed, that is called as a General Agreement on Tariffs and Trades. That GATT is formed, and later on we have discussed in detail. Subsidy schemes also a negative side of a developing countries, tariffs and trade system or non-trade issues or immense influence. Sometimes some of the influence, if you called as a talk about the foreign bank, Citibank or one of a leading Citibank that is which is enter into the Indian market, that is in 1920. It means before independence, some of the companies are established their business in India. So due to the some of the influences is arises, immense influence arises in certain countries. These are the some of the problems. But the question is, if you talk about Indian trade relations among the major trade blocs of the world, somehow you may take the example of European countries, EU, European countries or Euro currency. There is a separate currency there, more focused on in the year of 2008 in 27 European, some of 27 countries are formed a European nations. African countries, North American, Latin American, Asian or ASEAN, Asian also. But in such a situations, some of the trade blocks here, blocks means not studying the blocks of topics. It is here blocks means their business orientation, their architectural orientation as regards to relationship of the trade blocks. Already you know there are different news in the news channels. Sometimes you listen some of the words. There is a Asian European countries conferences there or African countries conferences there, and ministerial conferences discussed on that topic regarding the tariff and regarding the COVID situation. In present situation, the COVID or there is a called up such a scenario of a discussion is related to different type of trade blocks of the world. Means the world, in a particular world, the country is divided into different parts: European, African, North American, Latin, and Asians. But question is, in the unit 10, the topic is a multilateral trading system. If you talk about a multilateral, what is multilateral trading system? Well, I have already stated in the World War II, which is in between lasted in between 1939 to 1945. Some of the countries are totally, the economics is totally shattered, and some of the political situation and social system is totally changed. There is a huge spread on the migration of laborers, and the United Nations organization was like and that is a instability of political situation. Some of the UN came into the encompass the development of economy and commercially and scientific way to present a various forms of agency. And we thankful to the UNO, because United Nations organization through which the world is in a particular shape at the time of 1945. Means the World War One and after World War Two, that is just scattered up in every business house. Not only the business houses, the country's position is totally derailed. How it is derailed? In a different scenario of economic, commercial, scientific, social, and cultural sphere is totally changed, and that change can be made by the UNO, or they form a different agencies. What type of different agencies? We have discussed it one by one. That is one of a different agency, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. WTO is also a next level of WTO is also called as a one that is called as a another agency which is formed. But if you talk about GATT, the GATT is the International Conference on Trade and Employment in Havana in 1947 and 48. There is a 53 nations are drew up in one signed agreement is there in international. They form a international trade organization, ITO, and that type of agreements are called as a one type concept is arises, that is called as GATT. But the GATT was signed in 1947 but come into enforce in 1948. I have discussed one by one. You better clear understanding the GATT. But why the GATT, GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, only to settlement of trade disputes and consultation and regulatory framework or measures are to be makeover in among the countries. That is a major objective of GATT. Another objective of GATT is to raise the standard of living. Another objective of GATT is to create a full employment, or it increases the real income and effectiveness of demand. Another objective of GATT is to develop full use of resources of the world. Another objective of GATT is to expand production and to a next level of right direction of international trade. My dear students, if you talk about the GATT, there is some rounds are to be taken up. Rounds means there is a discussions, and that on this basis of rounds, that important round is Uruguay round, or that is called as a URUGUAY, Uruguay round of multilateral negotiations. On this case, that rounds, it means the GATT is formed in approximately 1947 to 1994. There is several rounds of discussions are there. What type of discussion? different trade issues. On these issues, one agreement which is formed in the year of 1994, and that type of agreement is called as a Donkel Agreement, and another organization is formed that is called as a WTO in the year of 1994, or it may be operational on 1st January 1995. So this is the concept, this is the history, this is the theory. But the question is that there are different round of talks. Everybody asks, anyone student asks me, sir, what are the types of rounds? Rounds means discussions or conferences. In the first round, there is a discussion which is held at Havana 1947. 23 countries are there, and there are discussion regarding the tariff concession. In second round, Annecy, France, it is held in Annecy, France in 1949. 10 countries or more than 10 countries are there, present their situation related to customs and tariff. In third round, in 1950s to 51, similarly, 88,700 items are to be, tariffs are to be reduced, and 38 members are there. And this is held at England also. And in fourth round also, that is held at Geneva in 1955 to 56, and 57 important notes related to trade discussion, international discussions are there. Fifth round, it is held at in the 1960 to 62 at Geneva also. And sixth round, it's called as a Kennedy round. It is a discussion in the year of you may call as at Geneva 1964, and which is completed in 1962. Means the started on 62 to 64, and then it is completed 67. And that Kennedy round, that is also a trade negotiations, and that related to the US Congress. Somehow they are put a disadvantage regarding the particular business. In seventh round, that will be held at Tokyo of Japan. That's called as a new concept, which arises multilateral trading negotiations, and Tokyo Declaration is there. In eighth round, that is called as a Uruguay round. It means the important round of international trade, international scenario is called as a Uruguay round. That Uruguay round, which is particularly held at a Punta del Este and in a September 1986, and it can be concluded in 1990. And in the ministerial, there are different ministerial meetings of the different countries which is held in 90, and there is on specific areas there are discussion related to agriculture. And in a particular Uruguay round, some of the countries, they focus on to start another organization, and that organization is called as a WTO, World Trade Organization. My dear students, everybody know, or everybody listen my word as regards to the GATT, GATT, that is called a General Agreement Tariffs and Trade. That GATT can enforce a new type of organization is formed, that is called as a WTO, World Trade Organization. And in the eighth round, that is called as a Uruguay round, and everybody is appreciate that Uruguay round is a one round or eighth number of round. That negotiations has put a new picture of world of business, of international business. Then you see in my slide, that is called as a WTO, World Trade Organization, which is started at 1995, and it is a successor to GATT. Successor to GATT, it means there is 146 members at that time. And India as being one of a founding member of GATT, founding member of a WTO, to form a particular type of institutions. Afterwards, after several footings of business discussions, a new type of organization are to be framed out, that is called as IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, that is a WB, and after encompassing the different ministerial conferences. My dear student, the first formation of the international trade of business is GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade Practices. On the 8th round of Uruguay round, there is a concluding of or dissolution of a GATT, and next successor is come up, that is WTO, and then only the IMF and World Bank and several other organizations are there in a particular type of ministerial conference which are to be held. The question has to be what type of in a WTO there are different type of general councils are there, councils regarding the trade, goods and services, as well as intellectual property rights, that is called as a TRIPS and TRIMS. And afterwards I have discussion regarding the detailed way. TRIPS and TRIMS means Council for the Trade in Goods, Council for the Trade in Services, and Council for the Trade related aspects of the intellectual property rights, that is called as a TRIPS. And my dear students, there is a what is the basic in the particular examination, one question is come up. What is the difference between GATT and WTO? WTO is an extension of GATT, all everybody know, and GATT is in different character or different status. GATT has no status, no legal status, but WTO has a legal status. And GATT is a specific set of rules and relevant to multilateral agreement of selective nature, but WTO is a permanent binding nature, or it is an extension of a GATT. And GATT is a disputes of settlement system, but WTO is a fully settlement of activities also. And GATT is also one type of forum, but before that, certainly WTO has a different decisions are to be taken up in different bounds also. There is a several type of, in GATT is a small secretariat and WTO is a large secretariat. Secretariat means here different countries of operation or different countries can be supported on WTO, and less number of countries are to be supported at GATT. GATT, that is called as a General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. And GATT is always applicable to trade of goods, and you may call as that is the Uruguay round of agreement, but in WTO that is covers of goods and services and different issues. But certainly there are different type of issues are to be taken up by the WTO. What are the issues? That is one issue is the TRIPS, TRIMS, already I have stated, anti-dumping, textiles, means agriculture, textile services, and protect towards investment, competition policy. And present, if you talk about the present scenario, there is a discussion of related to COVID discussion. There is also implementation of some issues related to how the COVID medicines are to be provided in poor countries. These are some of the issues which are related to not only the business, but also that is called as the expanding of the range of protectionism by some of the developed countries. And TRIPS, there is an intellectual property rights agreement in such issues. There is a copyrights, trademark, geographical location, patents, industrial designs, and integrated circuits, trade secrets. There are through which there is some of the issues we are taken on. But certainly we are always focusing on the intellectual property right issues related to in different type of products, like the haldi. We are discussing regarding haldi belongs to India, and some other products which are related to the other countries. These are some issues related to intellectual property rights. And if you detailed regarding the Uruguay rounds of agreements and 8th round of agreement, there are several issues that have to be taken into account. In my slide, you see there is a tariffs, there is a related to trade issues of investment, there is a related to agriculture, clothing, textile sector, there is a related to exporting restraint of electrical goods, motor vehicles. Nowadays, what happens? Different type of automobile companies have to be start their business. How it is possible? This is possible thanks to the Uruguay round of agreements and that type of agreement through which the business can focus on in a different economic as well as social significance in a different concern is there. But my dear students, In a final Uruguay round is totally is 25,000 pages, and they are more focusing about the national tariffs and services, and then only one concept is arises. That concept is called as a binding all members have to form a new type of contracting a party that is called as a WTO. Whatever I have already stated. But the question is, in a Uruguay round, there are different type of system is there. Multilateral system is there. Another one is plurilateral system is there. In a multilateral system, there is agriculture and textile, technical, trade, trims, anti-dumping issues, and rules of origin. Origin means origin of a particular products and subsidizing the goods, safeguarding the goods, and trims that is called as a trade related intellectual property rights. Another one is a trade policy review mechanism, and these have to be issued as a multilateral system. Maybe if you talk about plurilateral system, mean in different ways, that may be called as a public procurement system, civil aircrafts, trade in and international dairy products, international bovine meats. These are the issues related to international system through which the Uruguay rounds of the GATT system are to be on focus on multilateral as well as plurilateral system of business. The question is, another one is in a unit 2, in the unit 11, that is topic is regional economic groupings. I have already stated some of the concept regarding the regional groupings. Groupings means here we are talking about European unions are very strong. We are talking about African countries are have one separate. We are talking about the Latin American countries are separate. In this scenario, these are called as groupings or blocks. And what are these discussion? One by one, we have to discuss. My dear students, if you talk about regional economic groupings, means there is a smaller national economics, and it's about creating a larger economic units from smaller national economics. Means smaller economics can combine or join hand together with coordination and cooperation, and new type of economics of a business is come up, or economics of a country's business is come up, that is called as the regional economic groupings. And in this scenario, you have to listen in some of the TV channels, radios, and some of the other channels. That is, you may say European unions, SAARC countries, Asian countries, G8 countries, G20 countries, BRICS. So these are the some of the regional economic groupings. Why they joined hand together? Only due to the economic cooperation among the nations, and with a common economic interest, common specific economic interest. My dear student, everybody knows in such as meetings of G8, Asian and European Union, G20 and BRICS countries, you say sometimes Modi is always focusing about the terrorism is a one important factor through which it disturbed the economical position of a particular country. That's a issue. That issue can be focused on these type of groupings. And the groupings means India is supported towards SAARC with a SAARC countries, or India is supported the European nations view. India is supported the G20, attending the G20 networks. These are the some of the economic groupings. But certainly there are different type of economic groupings in different ways. Trade areas related, custom unions related, common markets, preferential areas, and monetary and economic nations. If you talk about some of the groupings, I may see my slide. You see Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, that is established in 1967. Bangkok Agreement 1976, European Union 1958. But nowadays, present days, European unions are very strong rather than the other grouping nations. European Free Trade Association era 1960, EU EFTA 1972, and Central American Common Market CACM 1960, North American Free Trade Agreement NAFTA, that is 1991, and several other groupings are there. you may count through your books also in different type of economic groupings. But the question is, any student can ask me, sir, as on date, what is the position? As on date of 1st February 2020, 339 RTA. RTA means that is the regional trade agreements are came into force, and among these 548 notifications from WTO members are to be separately focused on such type of agreements. It means 25 regional trade agreements are to be notified till date of the still in force. It means these are the some issues we have to be discussion on this particular platform. My dear students, another topic is Unit 12. Unit 12 is related to international commodity agreements. The question is international commodity. Here, commodity means goods. In a what type of goods, international wise, what type of goods agreements are to be taken into consideration? International commodity, and it's a, you may call as a to major objective is to stabilize the trade, supplies, price of the commodity, and for the benefiting of the participating countries. Who are the participating countries? Already I have discussed. What are the participating? European Unions, Asians, nations. These are the some of the participating countries, and they are more focusing about the price stabilization. Price stabilization in terms of not only the stock management, not only the stock of prices, some other trade. Sometimes ago, you read the newspaper, there is a scarcity of onions. And how it is possible? The Modi government or any government can say, oh, do not worry, we have another countries there, Iraq, Iran, and through which we can exporting the we are importing the particular onions from our country. So that is the way through which you may see the Iran onions are the bigger than the in Indians, and that is the way through which the concept of quantitative trades, prices, and stock management can be come out through the such type of international commodity agreements. And it is called as a major objective is to moderate fluctuations in price or stabilize the pricings, and the most common instrument is to buffering the stock and export of quotas. Buffering the stocks, it means we have to keep at a huge amount through which the poor countries or those who are needed for that reason we can provide such that. My dear students, there are several other in the year 1947. The Economic Social Council is there of the UNA established in special branch, and also there is a coordinating committee is there. International Commodity Agreement is there to deal with this commodity agreement. These are the some of the agreements, some of the councils through which the particular type of business can you focus on. But the question is, only it is only focus on for the to solve the developing problem of the developing countries. Means there is a certain other type of agreements through which how the percentage means 90% of producer, 90% of customers are participate and to perform in a floor in a price as well as floor or ceilings through which the particular buffer stock operation can be made. But in this connection, there is a determination of floor pricing, ceiling prices in well calculated, and with the buffer stock authority should be operated properly. Which commodity means we have to kept for a safer side with a good original quality as well as a price ceilings, and that type of determination can be made through the different type of international commodity exchanges. But certainly major international commodity agreements are there. What are the agreements? One agreement is International Rubber Agreement, which is established, which are concluded on 6th October 1979, and which is forced at 1982. International sugar agreements are there. There are 4 international sugar agreements are there after post-war period. Means shortage of sugars. For this reason, some agreements are to be come up with. One is 1953, next one 1958, and next one is 1968. And international teen agreement. Teen means there is a teen. In a particular agreements, there is an operation in 1956, and to supply of, or there is a not restriction of a teen market. Another one, the international coca agreement is there in 1956. UN committee also or food agriculture organization FAO also suggests the stabilization of coca also. Another one is international coffee agreement is there, which is operational in 1963, and only to the consumer sanction to this agreement is there. It means it is also a second agreement also in 1972 also to stabilize the prices. And international olive oil, you see in the market there is olive oil is available. How it is possible? Due to the possible only the olive oil agreement. International olive oil agreement, which is agreement will be in operation in 1956, then 60, then in different members are to be more focused with such as 63 and 73. And in this case, the price stabilization and price control is there. Another one is the international wheat agreement. Wheat agreement also brought out under control of different main producers, those who are main producing the wheats also. Means the some countries have some specific products they have produced. For this reason, the particular type of agreements are to be on focus on. And next one is the international wheat agreements is there. The similar line of LA 19 is there. Next one is the that is called as the international financial institutions, and in the unit 13 that is called as the international financial institutions. My dear student, before that, first we have to cover the Uruguay round of a different type of general agreement on tariff and trade practices, then WTO, and then there is a different type of groupism system, and different commodity international commodity agreements are there. And this is the one that is called as the international financial institutions. Means in international financial institution, everybody's mind is that is called as the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The IMF is established with a one Bretton Woods is a place where the particular countries are to be attended. Some countries or some United Nations monetary, there is one conference is carried out at a New Hampshire. In this particular conference, every nation's countries are to be more 45 countries are to be more precursor focused towards establish a new organization that is called as the IMF. Is established in 1944. Listen, WTO is in 1994, but IMF is started in the 1944. But before that, it is the Bretton Woods Agreement that is the particular organization is started. Means IMF existence with a certain that the headquarters at Washington, and in May 46 and 1946, and it can operation at 1947. At the time of India's independence, the IMF is established, and everybody is looking to IMF, International Monetary Fund, and that is a major objective. What is the objective? Is only the issues relating to funding. Means consultation and collaboration regarding to the machinery and monetary issues, and balance regional high level of employment opportunities created, productive capacity increases, stability of orderly exchange arrangement also, and multilateral payment system, transfer system should be there, and also there is a some of the safeguarding the current payment balance system and within the particular prosperity of a country, and the duration of majority payment imbalances can focus on towards the IMF also. But certain functions are there. What are the functions? These are the major objective, but function is assistance, financial assistance, and code of conduct, assistance, collaboration, and restriction on payment of current account transaction. It means already I have stated in balance of payment. There is a capital account, current account, and finance account. But here they says IMF always restriction on payment of current account transactions also. And also another organization which is established, that is called as a World Bank. Everybody is look into the World Bank, WB. WB is also founded at a Bretton Woods Monetary Financial Conference in 1944. Its operation in 1946, and the different type of established international financial corporations also established in 1956. Means in this scenario, the World Bank is formed. Means Bretton Woods, we are thankful to Bretton Woods system, through which in a ministerial conference there is a certain type of organizations have to be framed out, that is called as IMF and World Bank. But the question is, another organization is framed out in International Finance Corporation, that is called the International Finance Corporation, IFC. IFC is found in 1956, and to develop the economic growth and prosperity of the developing countries. But major principles are there to helping the private investors, market, good investment pattern, commercial risk can be managed, partnership ways through which the market disputes can be managed, and principle of a separate special contribution. Here contribution means special supplements, issues, and related to World Bank groups, and primary objective of all banking groups means only it's called as a only the banking, it's called as a banking organization through which the all funding agencies can be made through not only the good investment but also helping the private investor, transferring it's called as a to equip with a proper market discipline, and also supplement with a complementary nature that's related to the International Finance Corporation. Another organization that is a great organization, that is called as the International Development Association. International Development Association is also an affiliated association of a World Bank, and that is called as a IDA, and which is in operation in 1960. And there is a 70 countries are there are eligible for this particular International Development Association, and the credit period limit is 35 to 40 years. It's a great, means there is a grace, another grace period is 50 years. It means the idea is to total as a financial assistance with subscription amount, and that type of contribution is replaced with a periodical in a different periodical credit period is more than the almost near to be 50 years. And idea is also receives a transfer from different earnings from IBRD. IBRD is also another bank, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development is there, and they can repayment on the credit also, and priority of funding related to education also, protection towards poverty also, and focus on environment also. There is a, they also set up a one fund or set up with it is a great initiative for the only poor countries, not only the developing countries, it also assists heavily with the poor countries. Another organization that is called as a regional development bank. But in a regional development bank, the particular organization which is ideas is set aside with in 1950s, and with the regional development banks RDB, that is only focus on external financing system and relation to the internationalization mechanism of not only the long term but also medium term capital, and it's a mean the gap is filling through this type of funding agencies also, and that credit mechanism system is also considered in a very protective contribution to the economic development. And another one is it has an there is some of the financial problems can be issues are to be addressed on the implementation of a regional cooperation programs also. And in this connection, there is a Inter-American Development Bank which is established in 1959. Asian Development Bank, ADB, Asian Development Bank, which is established in 1963, and other banks are there also. That is the African Development Bank, which is established in 1966. One by one, we have to discuss. First one is the Inter-American Development Bank. Inter-American Development Bank it's called as a regional development bank, RDB, and there is a membership is the 46 countries, and not only the developed countries like US and Canada or Germany, Italy, or Japan, or Switzerland, but also some other countries are also there. And the credit limit period ranging from the 15 years to 40 years. That is a 15 to 40, almost it is near to be 50 years. Means that type of international American development bank is only to promote, not only the promote, but also it's have a focus on specific economic issues and social development projects also. Another bank, and everybody know about the Asian Development Bank, that is called as ADB. And that ADB is founded at 1966, 31 members have to be more focused on issues like a social and economic progress of a country, and they are more attention to the smaller and less developed countries or regional balancing in a different scenario. Economic issues have to be taken into consideration, execution of projects, program, advisory services, and facilitate the investment of public, private capitals that to be focused on, and requesting the coordinating development policies have to be taken into consideration. So these are the some of the issues through which the particular Asian development banks have to be more focused, and it is a one part of a international financial institution. Another one is that is called as the African Development Bank. This is also a part of a regional development bank. And in the African Development Bank, it is also established in 1964, and which is started functioning in 1966. And its shareholding is the 53 countries and major similar line. What is the objective of other banks? Similar objective over here is there. Regional member to relate to African countries, and to make loan and equity investment in African countries also, and to technical assistance to the or execution of the projects to the African countries also, to promote the investment in public and private capital in African countries also, and request assistance and coordinating necessary plans, policy regarding the regional balanced growth can be made through the only African countries only. Means this bank only established only to rotate through the only the not only the Africa, somehow 24 other countries are like as Americas and Europe and Asian countries also. And my dear students, even if this is the last, not the last, and this is the end of my topic as relates to my class, but the question is, whatever it may be, the important topic is GATT. Another topic is WTO, another topic is IMF, another topic is that is called as a regional groupings and regional balancing. And in this connection, you may say the government WTO is established in the year 1994, and WTO is always focused. It's a enactment. It's a successor means. Success of a particular of GATT, but the question is in the year of 1947 GATT is established, but it is came into established in the 1948, but in the 49 that is a second round discussion is there. In the 1950 there is another third round discussion is there. 1956 fourth round discussion is there. 1960 and that is a fifth round discussion is there. And then onwards, there is the eighth round, almost eighth round, the WTO can be framed out. But the basic difference of GATT and WTO, the GATT is a rules of multilateral agreement system is there, And through Uruguay round, you already know the eighth round is called as Uruguay. Uruguay is a place through which the particular rounds have been taken out. And in this pluralism and lateralism system is there, their discussion are there. But WTO is also, it's also a permanent institutions, and it has an own purpose. It has an full permanent institutions of all activity. It is applicable to merchandise, trade, and services also. WTO has an almost multilateral system is there, and dispute settlement can be fast and automatic is there. But in GATT, somehow it is lacking. In this connection, the WTO has a greater role, greater play in this regard. But in a, if you comparative with the other international financial institution with the IMF and World Bank, these are also framed out in the year of after World War II. These are to be organizations are to be formed only to develop the only equip with the least developed countries or the poor countries. They are to be more focused on or more focused way of discussion. So these are the some of the issues which are related to the particular type of organizations. And in this connection, we may proceed in a different way through which our international trade, our international commerce, and our international business can be success in a need of our in a present scenario. My dear students, in a block number 3, there are 5 topics are there, but even if I have present my PPT in a different way through which cut short of a different type of positions. If any questions, you may ask through chat box, and I may answer some of the topics.
Sir,
Any
IMF,
questions or any if you
Hello,
put
sir.
IMF के बारे में
if any question you can put through chat box, please.
ओके मैम
If any question you can put through chat box. My dear student, sir, please the Asian Development Bank again discuss IMF, and what about IMF, International Monetary Fund? There are several. Every organization has a similar line of action, and similar line of action means it is a integration to development of trade, commerce, industry, of business of related to the poor countries, and promote the trade issues or service of a particular country. But similar line is there. You may see my in my PPTs also. You may so there is a some of the functions and some of the objectives are there, and through which you can go through it and you better to understand. I hope so. And IMF has a separate IMF and World Bank. Both have to be established in the year of 1946 onwards, and in this connection, the particular they promote the only poor countries. But WTO is on a separate of after rounds. They have to be more focusing on the in different permanent basis of the members are there, and nowadays it has an increasing in a or any questions? You made how it is different. WTO similar already I have discussed. It is a permanent institution. It is established by one purpose, or eighth round of Uruguay. WTO is established, and that Uruguay round means there is a some of the trade issues are there, trips, streams. Another one is some of the service regionalism, and there is a established for own purpose, and it is the settlement system is fast one. So this way, the WTO can be friend. It is a GATT is only a legal agreement, but it is not an institution. But WTO is an institution. But what is the basic difference between the GATT and WTO? GATT is only a agreement, but WTO is a only institution through which it can be the business can made successful. Another one is some other countries like as a you may called as a European Unions. There is in a European Union several countries are there, like as a Belgium, France, Federal Germany. These are the some of the countries who are there. There is a huge topics are to be covered, but you have to know about the what is the objectivity of a particular WTO, IMF, how when it is established, and what is the framework of a WTO, and what are the general councils are to be discussed in a different issues are to be addressed upon. These are the more focused area of a not only the IMF, WTO, and World Bank, but also some of the European nations organizations are there. In a books, there is a less amount of topics are there, like as in European councils. There is a less regarding the particular topic. You may refer some other books. That book is International Business of P. Subbarao Himalaya Publications. International Business P. Subbarao Himalaya Publications. You may refer. This is the best book for the international business. You better understand in a different way also. Or any questions on any part, any PPTs I may share with you, and in my WhatsApp you may send me, so then I can share with you. Or anything, yes or no? Sir, I have a IGNOU book. It's okay. You have an IGNOU book. You may refer through IGNOU book and also use through internet also. So different issues are to be more to be addressed. And my WhatsApp number, I can put my WhatsApp number. You may send 966 812 6629. I may send on my WhatsApp number. Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.